Okay, so I was coming out to work in my flower beds. I do it a lot already, but since we're encouraged to stay at home, it's really been a spot of peace and relaxation for me. And of course, I love gardening. I love flowers. And I thought that there are probably a lot of you all who may not have a spot to go outside and dig in the dirt. Maybe you live in an apartment, or maybe you just don't feel well, or there's various reasons why you can't get outside. And I thought that maybe seeing my garden and what was going on might uplift your spirits and give you something nice to think about. Things that are green and growing always make me feel more peaceful. So I just thought I would go along. I'm gonna go to my shady bed right now. And I just thought that maybe looking at some nice growing things might make you feel nice. This is called a shady bed, obviously, because all of these trees that don't yet have leaves on them, got a bunch of walnuts and hickories, when they have their leaves on, are going to make this into a nice shady spot. For right now, the wildflowers that are in it enjoy this dappled sun. And right here I have a snowball tree that's fixing to pop. There's a bunch of junk in the background. I live on a farm, so you can see there's the cow trailer and the big old pile of wood to be split for next winter. And back behind is the garden area worked up. We have about a 40 by 50 vegetable garden. But this is my flower bed. There's some river cane that the boys dug up a long time ago, thinking that it would get huge and they would have their own fishing poles, but it doesn't get very big in my yard, thank goodness. Here's a Burnham. That was from my grandma. It is just getting ready to open up. When it does, it will smell absolutely lovely. I have a lot of wildflowers in my bed, and actually a bunch of them are ones that were collected with my dad when the boys were young. We went up into the woods and collected a bunch, which I do not recommend anyone doing that, especially on other folks' land, because lots of people don't know what is endangered or what is not. But I'm glad that we got these, because we've had a lot of invasive plants come into our woods. Hello, Bella. Hello, kitty. She's ignoring me. And they are choking out the native wildflowers. So I actually have ones in my bed that I could replace things with. This one leaning back here, that white, that is a beautiful wild delphinium. These stalks that are coming up are called Solomon seal. And pretty soon all of those will be little bells hanging off of them, little white waxy bells. Wild geranium, some Virginia bluebells. There's a piece of my great granny's bleeding heart back there. That's really beautiful. Here are some shooting stars that have come up. I did have Dutchman's breeches right there. There's a little sprig of it still sticking up. All the flowers are gone. Some wild ginger. There's a trillium back there. That was a Korean yellow bells. That's not native to here, but it's very pretty anyway. I have a clematis, however you want to say it, that's going to be climbing up that tree and looking lovely. Some hostas, a very pretty cat, yes, and all of these lovely splashes of lavender purple. Those are called Sweet William. It's a wild phlox, and it's pretty special because my dad, my granddad, and my son were all named William, so that's a family name. Back behind you can see a native shrub, and it's called Carolina silver bells. You can maybe see it has little tiny white flowers dangling down from it. And my flower bed is not fancy or expensive. Most all of my plants are pass-alongs or things I grew from seed, and lots of my garden stuff is just found. So that is a bag of concrete at the bottom that hardened up, and sitting on top of it is a faux bow or false wood bird water base. The top was broken, so I just picked that up for nothing. The top is I believe a flywheel that one of my boys found in the dump, and an old gazing ball. So Nothing fancy, but it makes me happy. And then little things like this piece of stump, which will soon have lovely green things growing out of it. Has holes all over it where you can plant. I enjoy things like that. All these hostas are from my Grandma Tommy. This little plant's almost through blooming. It's called Tiarella wary, and it's beautiful. It's just a small little plant that creeps along, has lovely chartreusey green leaves, and then sends up those foamy, well, it's actually called foam flower, but foamy looking little flowers. Across through here where all these sticks are and open spots are places that I have been seeding, and she likes to sit. So I've seeded a lot of digitalis or foxglove through there. I actually have some coming up. This is a wonderful plant that my Grandma Tommy gave me. It came up in some of her mulch, and it will just be clouds of blue flowers. I do not know the name. We called it mystery plant because we were never able to definitively figure out what it is. Lysimachia aurea. Aurea meaning like sunshine. So bright yellow leaves. All it does is crawl along and be very nice. Here is bugleweed. It's also a climber. There's a columbine that I just grew from root pieces, and some astilbe that I grew from roots. That's my grandma's ghost fern. It keeps spreading and is beautiful. And back here, this giant shrub is one of my great granny's snowball hydrangeas. I love it in every single part of the season. That is a piece of a tree that my husband cut into a chair for me, and on it is a manhole cover from when my dad used to work construction, and the cut out part is when he made a battle axe for my middle son when he was in his Lord of the Rings phase. And I told my dad, I said, that looks just like a moon. So he gave it to me, and it was hanging on a tree, but the nail fell out, so I need to hang it again. And this beautiful little table, it used to be my Grandma Tommy's, and I have it. She has passed on. Back there, I have another little seating area and tons of wild ginger, which was also from her. That is a blue hydrangea, which was my husband's grandma's. Beautiful big purple moth head. And this is something very special to me. When my boys were little, I think my smallest was 2 or 4. So probably, we'll say 4, 6, and 8. I made stepping stones with their little hand and footprints. So that was William Colton's, Devin Tyler's, and Seth Mallory's with heart rocks in them. They used to give me, and then that. That under the cat's behind me. That's all 3 of their hands together. Ugh, you're a mess. This pretty purple leaf that's coming out down there, that's a purple oxalis. It's a small bulb. I also got that from Grandma Tommy. And if you look around here, that is a spot I have not yet weeded. Oh my! Or mulched, so you can see how much work it is. But it's a labor of love. Beautiful maidenhair fern. There in the back is another giant one of the snowball hydrangeas of my great granny's. More ferns. This is called a strawberry begonia, and it's another ground cover or creeper, and it sends up beautiful little tiny delicate white spires of flowers. That was from my Grandma Tommy. Another good mossy chunk of wood that my boys brought to me. This tree has finished blooming, but it is the most exquisitely fuchsia pink crabapple. And long ago, probably 20 years ago, my dad did some landscaping work for a lady, and everything that she didn't like or did not do well for her, she would have him rip out, and he immediately brought it to my house. She could not get this to grow or bloom, and it is full size and lovely now, and has bloomed every year in my garden, so it seems to like me. Some more ferns and some more of the beautiful blue bugleweed, or ajuga. I can't talk. And you know, I read the names, but I'm never sure exactly how to pronounce, so that's either Heuchera or Heuchera. There are two more. They're also called coral bells. And you can see they come in all different leaf colorations and also flower colorations, but they give a beautiful variation to foliage. As you can see, there's a chartreuse hosta back there, so lots of different foliage types make for a pretty garden. And that is my poor little fairy topiary. She's pot-bellied and big-headed, so she wants to blow down when the wind is going very hard, but she's just kind of funny to sit out there. There are some yellow poppies that were from a friend of my grandma's. There's a big old stand of them. They were blooming profusely, but now they're about done. And there's some spiderwort, also called widow's tears, because during the Civil War it was planted on lots and lots of graves. It's something that can just take care of itself. These are bachelor's button seedlings. Those are from seed from my grandma. I have a couple hollyhocks coming up. I actually have 2 new roses planted in this bed. That poor little rose has one tiny flower opened up on it. We just had 3 hard freezes and a light snow this week, so it is endeavoring to persevere. This is a favorite. This is a old burn-up bed spring that the little boys found for me in the dump, and a saw blade, and I'm not even sure what the upper piece is, but when you put it all together, it makes a magnificent clematis climber. That is Belle of Walking, and it is a double, looks like a water lily when it opens. And that poor little peony, it's trying to bloom, but it actually was dug up in January, so I'm surprised it's even doing anything. This is a beautiful little Veronica. I believe it's called Georgia Lake Blue. And then I have Akalea or yarrow that's coming up. It will be white. And I should have 2 clematis coming up here. One of them has withered. You can see one was Ascotensis and one was Comtesse de Bouchard. There's my other little baby rose. So this is my shady bed. And like I say, you can look down there and see a seating area. And then I like to sit out there with a cup of tea. It's just very peaceful and lovely to me, and I'm a southerner. Every single thing has a story behind it. Most of my things are something from family or friend, and I love that. And we have come up on the gate, but I am going to wait to show you any more of my garden. Let me know if you enjoyed this. And Sugar, I sure hope that it uplifted your spirits, that you enjoyed some part of it. Maybe it just gave you a peaceful moment in your day. Let me know if you would like to see more of the flower bed and what's going on. And until then, I pray you stay safe and healthy and know that you are loved. All right, bye-bye.